Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Sunilji. Radhe Radhe, everyone. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Radhe Radhe, Nitinji, over to you.
Thank you, Pallavi ji. Radhe Radhe, everybody. Thank you, Madan ji and Sunil bhai, for a wonderful session. Coincidentally, we are doing the same topic today. The principles of surrender is what we are discussing as well. And today we will get into the attitude of gratitude, because it somehow so coincidentally happens that it's not planned for, but it just works. Now we are in Thanksgiving and we are going to talk about attitude of gratitude. When we were close to Valentine, we were discussing Madhurya Bhav. So it just so happens by God's design. That's what we're going to get into. We are going to watch a beautiful lecture from Swamiji as well. And then we will really get into the concept of gratitude. This is something we hear day in and day out, but really don't think what are the things that we could actually be grateful for. And because of our the way things, when they start looking anything which, even though it might be extraordinary, it starts looking mundane after a while, we lose that sense of appreciation and gratitude for things that we should ideally have. So we'll try to go a little deeper into it. Hopefully by the end of the session we'll come out of this topic with newer light to be able to appreciate things that we probably didn't think too deeply about, or even if we did think, they became ordinary over the period of time. So let's get started. We'll get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. So I'll share my screen to get underway. Okay, so let's get started with invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. So we'll continue on this fascinating journey of learning about surrender today. And we'll recite this shloka one more time. Today we will talk about gratitude. Tomorrow we'll get into the proprietorship and pride of surrender. And then we'll put it all together with some tools like we did with anger management as well. What is it that we could practically apply in some situations that we have to deal with in our day-to-day lives, and map it to the concept of surrender. Let's get started by reciting the shloka one more time. Hopefully this shloka is also becoming like, one of those shlokas like back of your hand, but we'll do that. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashwatam. Okay, you can take a few hands.
Ashutosh ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Ashutosh ji.
Tamev sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharat tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashwatam.
Radhe, thank you, Ashutosh ji.
Meena ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashwatam. Radhe Radhe.
Meena ji, Radhe Radhe, thank you.
Shyam ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Tamev sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashwatam.
Wonderful. Thank you, Shyam ji.
Sam ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Tamev तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावे भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Wonderful,
Radhe
Samji.
Radhe.
Very nice. Radhe Radhe. You've got
Samji.
Krishna playing with Teddy today. That's a nice.
Yeah, Radha and Krishna both.
Radha and Krishna both. Very nice.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Tamev sharanam gacchu sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapasyasi shashvatam. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Samji.
Shri Ramya ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
राधे राधे तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. Thank you.
Wonderful. Very nice. Ramya. Okay. Last 4 hands, maybe 4 or 5. Let's freeze them
Yeah.
and then move forward.
Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sumesh.
राधे राधे पल्लवी जी तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्. राधे
Wonderful.
राधे.
Radhe Radhe. Very nice. Thank you.
Ramesh ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam.
Thank you, Ramesh. And thank you for turning on your camera as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's quickly cover last.
Ragi ji,
No more.
Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
राधे राधे त्वमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Wonderful, Pragi ji. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you.
Last 2 hands.
Riya ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
राधे राधे तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Very
राधे
nice. Thank
राधे.
you. Radhe Radhe. Sandhya ji and Jyoti, you had raised hands, so you're not allowed to bring it down now. Yes, Sandhya.
Yes. Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe everyone. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Thank you so
Sandhya ji.
much.
Last but not the least, Jyoti, please go ahead.
Jyoti ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
राधे राधे तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परं शान्तिं स्थानं प्राप्स्यसि शाश्वतम्.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jyoti. So let's move on. So in this shloka, as we have been discussing, Lord Krishna is saying, surrender exclusively unto him with your whole being, O Bharat. By his grace, you will attain perfect peace and the eternal abode. Now, what happens is when we perfect our surrender, aligned to all the 6 principles that we have been discussing, we receive God's grace through Guru. Okay, and Guru is anyway doing our yogakshema. As we keep on increasing our surrender, yogakshema is not a unit step function. It is happening as we speak. So there's a constant protection that you get from Guru once you have accepted him and start aligning to the principles or his teachings, his or her teachings. Then the yogakshema is already activated. Right? It's like a policy is activated, yogakshema is activated. Yogakshema means what? Yogakshema means that he's going to protect or preserve the spiritual assets that you have. And then the second aspect of yogakshema is he's going to protect what you have and what you need. The second aspect is he's going to provide for what you don't have and you need. And third aspect is He's going to destroy what you have and you don't need. All three will happen. So you will realize it in your life that you start losing interest in a lot of things. That is because Yogakshem is in action. He's making sure the things that you have, unnecessary noise that you have added in your life, that starts getting cut. Then what you need to progress spiritually, he's going to provide more of it. Maybe better association, maybe more knowledge through some different channel. All of a sudden you will wake up and a video will pop up, or somebody will tell you something. You say, wow, this is the message I was looking for. Or you'll end up in this session and hear exactly what you were looking for that day. Those kind of things will start happening. And third thing is that the things that you don't have already spoken about, you already have, they will be protected. These three things happen. And when you perfect your surrender, then the Premadan happens. Now, Yogakshem is something that Guru can do remotely through a remote control, okay? Because anyway, Guru is godlike. And Premadan, he will do it manifesting right in front of you. Okay? He will manifest, he may look at you in your eyes, he may just tap you, punch you, kick you, whatever he wishes. Whatever the medium in which he wants to impart Premadan to you, that's how he'll give it to you. So these are the two things that happen when you perfect your surrender or when you are increasing your surrender. Yogakshem is already activated. So let's move on. Hopefully you can appreciate the concept more. Today we are going to talk about this concept of why is it important to develop an attitude of gratitude? What happens if we don't? Okay, this is what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. Again, let's do a quick recap of what we are, where we are right now. 6 principles of surrender: desiring in accordance with the desire of God, not to desire against the desire of God, having firm faith God is protecting us, maintaining an attitude of gratitude is where we are today, seeing everything as possessing, belonging to God, giving up the pride of having surrendered is something we are going to talk about tomorrow, the last 2. So let's get into a quick recap. Now we spoke about if you're, when you try to align to God's will as best as you can, and if your intuition doesn't guide us, have sincerity at your heart. Okay, make sure your intentions are pure. It will automatically result in pure vibes also. Okay, and then that will serve as an insurance policy for you, regardless of what happens. Okay, and then we spoke about the fact that God is protecting everybody, like ants, they don't go unfed. And then similarly, although elephants, they eat mounds of food, but it is provided for them as well. That is the protection God has. So let's start with a beautiful video from Swamiji, and then we'll get deeper into this concept. Let me know if you're able to hear audio or not.
He found out.
Yes.
Okay.
If we wish to become cheerful, optimistic, and hopeful, if we wish to eradicate negativity, pessimism, and gloom from within ourselves, what can enable us to do this? All we need to do is to count our blessings. And we have so many of them. Agreed, there are deficiencies in our life. Everybody's cup is half empty. But how can we forget that it is also half full? Tell a child, thank your father for all that he has done for you. The child says he is doing his duty. His father did it for him. He is doing it for me. What is the big deal? This is ingratitude. In the same way, we too have received so much. The eyes with which we see, the ears with which we hear, the earth we walk upon, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat. You see, unhappiness is not a reality. It is only the way we think. And happiness is only a shift in our emotions. To be happy, remember all the different gifts that we have received and to feel gratitude in our hearts for them. Now you may say, Swamiji, what ultimately have I received? Let me tell you the story of one man who was always whining about the deficiencies in his life, until one day an itch started in his eyes that completely transformed his perspective. He went to the doctor, and the doctor diagnosed it as a cancerous growth for which the eyeballs would have to be removed. Otherwise, the growth would spread in his body. This man was shattered. On the appointed hour, he entered the surgery ward with this thought that when I come out, I will have no eyes. However, when the doctor entered his eyes, he found out that it was just a rare fungus behind the retina. He cleaned it up and stitched back his eyes. Finally, when this man's bandages were opened, he discovered that he could still see. Now he was thankful to God for the gift of sight. We have received these two instruments fitted with 100 million receptors each, with the help of which we can enjoy the glory of the crimson sky in the setting sun, relish the majesty of an eagle in flight, enjoy the entire spectrum of 7 colors of that aesthetic rainbow. Like that, we have received so many wonderful blessings. Let's turn our attention to them. And then, as we stop whining about the cup that is half empty, we will be so overwhelmed by the half full gifts we have in our life that we will find 100 million reasons to be cheerful, to be optimistic, to be enthusiastic. So let us start a wave of gratitude, not only for ourselves, but in the entire world, the community around us. Let us offer this wonderful gift to our near and dear ones. Enable them to become cheerful by remembering their blessings, by feeling gratitude, and thereby creating a ripple of the wave of gratefulness which will spread through from the individual to the family, to the community, to the entire world, and bring about a paradigm shift in the way we feel, the way we think, and the way we become, by exercising this muscle of gratitude in the ethereal heart that we all possess. I invite you to feel the maximum grateful you can and to bestow this gift upon your near and dear ones.
All right, that was a powerful short video from Swamiji on the importance of gratitude. When you fill your heart with gratitude, not only we are aligning to that fourth principle of surrender, but also there will be no space for any negativity and hopelessness at that point. It will just fill it up with so much of positivity that your heart will start brimming or overflowing with so much of inspiration and enthusiasm and gratitude for all the graces that we have received. Now let's try to appreciate this concept a little more. I'll walk you through with a bit of few exercises and to drive home the point, like we always do. Now, what do you see below? I want to see what are you seeing, what I'm going to show you on the screen, and get this thing going, a bit of a discussion on that, and then get into the topic. What are you seeing here? Anybody? Nobody? Somebody? So everybody is thinking somebody, but nobody is doing it. Okay, finally I see a couple of hands. All right,
Yes.
let's quickly take that. Yeah.
Sri Ramya ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, in the first picture, I see a black dot on a whiteboard, and somehow I think that black dot is made to highlight. And in the second picture, I see a gifted person.
Okay. That is out of course, out of syllabus for you. Okay, I've taken the second picture off.
Okay.
I spare you a question now. No, that's good actually. Yeah, we are seeing a black spot on a whiteboard. Yes, that's right. Let's hear from a couple of other hands and then we'll get the discussion going.
Shyamji, please go ahead. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Nilbhai. I see a canvas, blank canvas with a black dot and a eraser there. That's for me to there see how I see it. I remove the black spot, paint it in my own way, however I do it.
Yeah.
The canvas is for me to paint it my way.
Right.
Radhe
Yes,
Radhe.
great. Good point.
Rahulji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
I can see a board where 0 is written and the musician was trying to sing glories of Shyamna Shyam so that 1 can be added in front of that.
I don't know. I think there was an additional click that resulted in that musician coming in. For now, the musician has evaporated. He'll make his entry again. Okay. Second question. Great. Yeah. Sumedha-ji.
Please go ahead, Sumedha-ji.
Yeah, maybe Sumedha-ji, and one more hand I can take. Dolly. Yes, Sumedha-ji.
Radhe Radhe. I think we are focusing on the black spot, then the white space. So it's like, you find, no matter how good a person is, but their mistakes or their faults are always, they get highlighted, and then people forget the good virtues. I think that's what perhaps this is trying to convey.
Yeah, that's right. Great. So we'll get that. I'll come back to the remaining hands. We have a little more to discuss, but yes, you rightly articulated it. See, our mind has something called a novelty bias. It gets bored very quickly. That's why we keep on flipping through, Instagram or emails, or our attention plan is like, we need something new, novelty bias it has. Similar to that, our mind has a negativity bias as well. If a person has 8 good qualities, it will pick up on the 2 and mind will keep on dwelling upon it. Similarly, if we have 10 good things going for us and 1 thing bad in our life, we will hype it up in our mind. So you'll forget that entire whiteboard and start focusing on then 1 black spot which is out there. That is how our mind is wired. And the gratitude is just about having a paradigm shift there. Focus on the things that you have as opposed to things which may not be. I mean, that is fine. Nobody has been given a completely fair deal in life. What you choose to focus on is something well within your power. It is not forced upon you. It is something that is a choice that you are making. And if your choice is to focus on the black spot for the rest of your life, then you are not doing yourself a favor. Instead, we have to focus on the white spot part of it. And that brings in the positivity, hope, and the sense of gratitude that we are talking about. Yes, Dolly-ji, you wanted to add something, and I'm going to tell you illustrate it through a few more examples around it. Yes, Dolly-ji, please go ahead.
Please go ahead. Dolly-ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you.
I feel that the board shows that our Atman is clean and pure, but due to certain negativities we bring in, the dot shows that. And the eraser is also very important, that we can erase it with Ishwar Bhakti and Guru Bhakti. So
Beautiful way of looking at it. Very nice.
I feel. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Very nice, Miss. Very true. We have an eraser as well going on there. Very true. Nice. So we'll come back to the remaining hands. Let's continue. Move the discussion forward. Now here is a beggar musician who made an entry a little earlier than I would have liked for whatever reason. But then the thing here is that I want to tell you a story here. So I forgot the name of the musician. So he tells this beautiful story. So he was a musician, well-known musician, celebrity, who had a concert in New York, and his tickets were selling for thousands of dollars, right? Maybe the premium tickets were going for multiple $1,000s, just if, on one of his concerts and shows. And the same guy, in a different attire, with the same instrument and the same music, came on the metro station, sat down there and started playing the same music. Nobody caught that. He didn't catch anybody's imagination. Okay. He was not able to captivate anybody at all. Through those CCTVs and all, few people were captured who came and, looked at him, got a bit amused, because everybody's in a hurry in New York, right? And they dropped in $1 bill or $2 bill in his plate because he was posing as a beggar, and then moved on. And the same act, when he was performing in a concert a few days back, people were drooling over him. They were head over heels just to see him. And they were willing to shell out part of, a good fortune just to hear that music. What changed? So humans have, under ordinary settings, extraordinary things are missed by our mind. It seems ordinary to it. That is how our brains are wired. And this sense leads us to start taking things which are nothing short of a miracle as ordinary. We start assuming those things to be fairly ordinary. And we'll talk about it just to evoke that sentiment of awness that we lose. When a kid is growing up, he has an awe when he looks at moon or sun or blowing wind or seashore for the first time. But we lose that awe around that, right? It fizzles away because we think it is, what's the big deal about it? Einstein had said that there are only two ways of looking at this world. Everything is a miracle or nothing is. It's a profound statement, depending upon what you choose to look at it as. Now, that doesn't mean you wake up every day and say, wow, wow, wow for everything. But let's try to appreciate and understand what truly is happening with us. Okay, let's see that in perspective. Now, it's not a dissertation. So if I get some of the facts wrong, I may have stale data. Then don't hold my feet to fire for that, okay? But get the understanding around it. Let's get at, do you feel grateful for? Okay, I'm going to pose a few things and you ask yourself, is it something, it's like been there, done it, seen it, big deal kind of a deal? Or is it something you feel really happy or grateful to somebody for or not? When you waking up every day, is it something you feel grateful about? It's a big deal. See, when you say good night to people, I used to joke around to say, good night, but don't forget to wake up, because that is the only thing which technically separates living from dead. As a matter of fact, I think there's a statistic, around 56 million people die annually. And I think I forgot the exact number, how many million people, they don't wake up. Right? Sleeping, losing your life while you are sleeping is very common phenomena. Silent heart attacks and stuff like that. 150K every month. So typically every 2 seconds somebody is dying. So the fact that we are able to breathe and wake up, it's a cause for celebration. first gratitude when we wake up, right? Which we take for granted every day. Having a roof over your head, do we feel grateful for that? About 150 million people worldwide are homeless and about 1.6 billion without adequate shelter. Right? They live in slums and things like that. Ironically, we are the most expensive house of the world. Ambani is there. One of the largest slums is also nearby. Maybe it has been cleared up now. That also is a cause for celebration or huge gratitude if we have that. Having an able and a healthy body. Have you ever thought about it, how big of a privilege it is that we take for granted? It is worth millions of dollars. If somebody tells you, give me both of your eyes and I'll give you $1 billion, would you do that? No. That means your eyes are worth more than $1 billion. Somebody says, give me your one leg and one arm, I'll give you $10 billion. Would you do that? You'll not trade it off because it is worth more than that. Now, having that, do we feel grateful about that fact or we take it for granted? We really have to think about it. It is priceless stuff that we already own. So these are some of the things that we lose a sense of gratitude around and start taking for granted and start complaining about, few things here and there in our life, which might not be going right. Life is not a perfect bag anyways. So waking up every day, having a roof over our head, able, healthy body, even getting a shower for that matter. How many people can afford that? Very few people can afford a shower. It's also a luxury. Or having an ability to sleep properly in the night, that is also a luxury. Or something that we need to be grateful for. The earth that we walk upon, the sunlight that we see, sun never misses its date, right? I mean, if it's cloudy, that's a different thing. But sun, moon, they are working as per God's clock junctions regularly without getting tired. They have to do that. They do their job. Then you have the air that we breathe. Ask COVID patients who were put on those masks in the hospitals and a bill of $1 lakh was slapped on them just because they were on that air mask for about a month. They would, and God is charging us for that. It is a huge reason to actually be grateful about the water that we drink, like Swamiji was telling in his lecture, right? Oops, what am I doing? Then the food that we get, our existence to begin with. God imparts us the consciousness. When we are sleeping, we don't even know who we are. And all of our organs, the energy, the Paramatma aspect is actually energizing our body and running our body when we have even forgotten who we are. And you'll be surprised to know when we sleep, there is a 40 factory worth of work that is going on inside our body. So much of work is going on quietly. And if that were to translate into a sound, it will produce a huge sound 1 mile away. All that is happening inside our body. Who is running that for us when we have even forgotten our identity? Another reason for us to be grateful about. And so on. We can keep on counting it, right? And do we pay any tax in return to God for that? Right? A silent gratitude would be good enough if we have that sense for that, but we don't do anything for that, and we think this is fine, we are entitled for it, and then one bad thing that is happening because your boss is not cooperating or somebody said something bad to me becomes a big issue in our life. You know what? I don't have the perfect spouse, I don't have the perfect relative, I don't have the perfect parents or that kid that I always desired. We pick up that one thing and start whining about it. That means it's an utter sense of ingratitude towards all the blessings that we have received in our life. So that is another way of looking at this thing, because the more we have the sense of gratitude for the things that a lot of people would die for, the more grace we attract, because it is directly mapped to the principle of surrender that we have. Let's go further into it. So this is a lady, mother of 2 daughters. Okay, she has a complaint. God, why don't you help my daughters? And the reason she has this complaint is because one of her daughters she's married to a guy who's into a brick business. Another daughter is married to a guy who has an umbrella business. Okay. So what happens is when it is hot sun shining, smiling in the sky, she's thinking, okay, my daughter is having a poor run. Nobody is going to buy umbrellas because sun is smiling and I don't know why it is smiling. And then when it would rain, she would say, my daughter's brick business is going to go down the drain because it is raining. Now, the other aspect of looking at it is she could have a gratitude when it's raining. She could think about the daughter, which is having an umbrella business. And when the sun is shining hot, she would say thank to God because the other daughter, she can make a lot of hay because sun is shining and the brick business can actually pick up around that sign. So it's just a reframing or changing the perspective around how you are seeing things. Then you have this guy, right, who said that I have a worst year of my life. So that's where Swamiji talks about when we start positively reframing things in our head, the sense of gratitude would be a natural consequence of it. Now this guy says, this was the worst year of my life. Why? Because I retired. My son had an accident and then my father died as well. And then his wife helped him rephrase all of these. He said, you retired, now you have time to do things that you always wanted to do. Our son had an accident, but by God's grace, it was just a minor fracture. Things could have been much worse. Your father died. He was spared a lot of misery. Maybe he has moved on to better things now. He was anyway in a lot of pain. So just a positive reframing, and that pain or the whining would convert into gratitude. It's a perspective shift, nothing else. Same situation, you can look at it different ways. Then you have this, I don't like my job. Right? People have this complaint, I don't like my job. So many people make this mistake. But then if you look at it, at least this person has a job. How many people would actually die for it? I had one of my neighbors. It's an interesting story. Of course, you will not know it, so I can always share the story with you. So his wife was always looking for a job here in US. Unfortunately, she didn't have a work visa. And then he got his green card, and because of which she could work. And congratulated her. I congratulated her. So, it's very nice. You finally got a job you were always looking for. And the response that came was pretty interesting. She said, you know what? I incurred a loss of 5 years. 5 years was gone down the drain. I could have earned so much. I said, you have at least started, right? So what do you choose to focus on is your choice. He said, loss ho gaya. I said, what loss? He said, 5 years loss down the drain. I said, at least you have started now. So it's really a choice what you want to focus on. So I don't like my job, but we have a job. Right? That's again a way of looking at things. I have to pay taxes. That means you are on W2. It's a huge privilege to have that. There should be a sense of gratitude around the fact that you are able to pay taxes rather than whining on that. And then I have to wash my dishes of so many people. That means you have friends. How many people they are craving for a friend circle only, right? Especially the ones who come to US new. They don't have friends. They're always looking for who will invite us for potluck or whom can we invite. And some people, they're complaining because they have to wash dishes. It's just a perspective thing around how you look at it. So bottom line is, if you look at it, the attitude is I was complaining about my shoes until I saw someone with no feet. It really depends on what we choose to look at, and more gratitude we harbor in our heart about things that are working for us, or the graces, innumerable graces that we have received, the more grace we receive. It is directly proportional to the amount of gratitude you carry from within for all the things, good things that are happening to you, as opposed to whining about that one thing, two things, or three things that are not working for you. Okay, with that, I'll take a quick pause. Any questions before we get into announcements and a bit of a discussion as well? So we have a thread on gratitude I think Kripa had created. So let's pick up on that thread. It's Thanksgiving. Think of all the little things. You can always write a journal, 5 things that you are grateful for today, and just see the transformation it starts bringing in you by filling you up with so much of hope and optimism and positivity. So having an attitude of gratitude for things is a great one to have. It's a great spiritual strength actually, because it also brings in humility that, somebody is providing for you. And if a son thinks, my father has to provide for me, I'm entitled to it, that is a sense of ingratitude. Then you don't draw grace. So it's a very important virtue to have on the path of spirituality, to be grateful for all that we have received from God and from people around. Okay, even the leadership principles these days in corporates are talking about leadership of servitude, right? That means you are serving people, and when you share your credit, when you succeed, is another way of acknowledging and expressing your gratitude towards everybody who has made you successful, as opposed to taking the entire credit yourself. People who do that, they end up becoming successful leaders as well. People whom people look up to and with whom people love to work with. So this virtue is a great virtue, and this mindset is a great mindset to have, not just for being successful in material world, but also to progress very quickly on the path of spirituality. Yes, Pallaviji.
Yeah. Nitinji, it's such an awesome discussion going on, and thank you for bringing all these wonderful scenarios and situations. That is awesome. One thing I wanted to talk about it, that recently I really got into some situation, and really the attitude of gratitude, how it changed my perspective. A very small incident. Last week I went to my daughter's class, a swimming class. When we went there in the morning, everything was shut down. The class was closed, and that too, usually our class is very early morning. When we went there and the class was cancelled, I was like very annoyed that why they canceled the class, and they didn't even send any notification that this class is cancelled. And then the front desk, they said that a kid was or someone in the swimming pool was not well, and they had to suddenly shut down the swimming pool. And then just for a moment, I thought that, oh my God, if I think in this perspective, that good that they had to shut it down, and we have to be grateful that no one are using that swimming pool, and they were so they took decisions so fast that they shut down and they prevented people from going there into the pool, which is far better than thinking or getting annoyed or whining about it, that why they canceled the class. When I thought in that perspective, I felt so better that, oh my God, they canceled the class. So yeah, that was something I feel that we have to look always in a different perspective, that what is the positive side of something.
True, very true. What we choose to focus on is entirely our prerogative. That is very true. And sometimes we play our own story in our head without really delving into the other story that might be running on the other end, right? So yeah. But if we can choose to focus on the positive side as opposed to dwelling too much on the negative side, I think it's a great mindset to have. Thank you for sharing that, Pallaviji. Very nice.
Yeah, I can say that I gradually developed this because I was always on the other side of kind of whining, but gradually I learned to look at things differently.
Our mind has a negativity bias, it likes it. Something that becomes sunny, sensational, negative, it captivates our mind. We just find a bit of a rush in it. That dopamine kick we talk about, we all get it, right? 2 countries are in war, that will become a news. 190 remaining countries are not on war, will not become news, right? If a dog bites a man, that will not become a news. If a man bites a dog, right, that will become a news. So that's how things go typically. So, okay, yeah, I can see one more hand.
Yes, Kumarji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Nitinji and Pallaviji and everyone else. So I want to kind of share my example of once when I was really down, and I called my brother and he said, I'm just going out for tennis. Can I call you later? And I said, probably not. I want to really talk to you. And then we talked for a couple of hours. So that's when, he said, I was just complaining, so much complaint that he let me complain a bit. And then he said, have you thought about, having a sense of gratitude. I said, what can I have gratitude for? See my situation. Is there anything to be grateful for? And then he kind of said, okay, take a paper, write down 3 items which you're grateful for. And at the time, I was feeling so bad, I could not write a thing. I said, nothing I think I can be grateful for at this time. And then he slowly got me to write 10 items, 10 things, right, which I should have been grateful for. And I'm like, yes. And this was an eye-opener for me. The problem is whenever we are down, it's so difficult to see the positive side to it. So that's why I think a lot of people, including Nitinji and everyone, and Swamiji, of course, have talked about the gratitude journal. So if we make that a practice, then when we are down, we can look at those things and say, hey, how great things have been. And if, we can see if we are going down a bit or something like that, and then increase our sadhana and all that stuff, and bring us to the positive side. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. It's a very good practice to maintain your gratitude journal as well. Maybe you could combine your spiritual journal with your gratitude journal as a side note, but it's a great practice because we lose sight of extraordinary things that are happening in our life. These are all extraordinary things. Like just like that musician on that metro station, these are extraordinary things that are happening, but we think they are just ordinary. See, nature is providing us with so much of variety, the food, the grains, the right kind of fruit, depending upon the season that we are in. All that stuff is happening, and we forget all these graces and then start highlighting on things which are not going right in our life. That is the mindset we have acquired over lifetimes that we need to shed. If we want to progress spiritually, is what scriptures are telling us. So, great point, Kumarji. And today we are going to celebrate some of the great seva work that is going on as well, right? So Jyoti is going to present that. Okay. So we have.
I also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and thank you all for the satsang.
Thank you so much. Thanks for thanking, and thanks for the all the insights that you provide, Kumarji, and all the participants. Heartfelt gratitude to all of you. And we have initiated a thread for Swamiji as well. So pour your heart out for that. He's the reason because of which we are here today and having all these discussions and this knowledge, which is like phenomenal knowledge. I keep on saying this fact, can't reiterate it enough. Write it down on a paper. On this planet, on this Brahmand, you will not find this Tattva Gyan anywhere. The depth and the clarity of this knowledge, no matter where you go, you will not be able to find it. Okay. I'm telling you through my own experience and realizations from a lot of devotees, this knowledge is priceless. And this is something that what you are getting from Swamiji, that, we get to partake this satsang every day, is not a one lifetime thing. It is across the lifetime assets that we are building. So we don't know how much lift we are giving our souls because of this satsang and the knowledge that has been made accessible to us or served to us in a platter by Swamiji. It is phenomenal. And as it will start growing on you, you'll realize, how things will start, all the puzzles in your mind will start falling in places. You cannot get this knowledge anywhere. That is how priceless it is. Great. Let's take a couple of more hands.
Yes, Manoranjan ji, Radhe Radhe, please go.
Yes, Manoranjan ji. Waiting for Kabirji's doha. Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, I am also interested to chant one Kabir Doha to all of you, to share one Kabir Doha.
Please.
The Kabir says that जो कछु किया तूने किया मैंने किया कछु नहीं जो कहे मैंने किया तो तुम ही थे मुझ माई कबीरा तुम ही थे मुझ माई. See the way Sant Kabir is actually giving gratitude to the Almighty. He is reducing himself to zero, nothing. I did nothing. It was only you who did something. If somebody says out of his ignorance that yes, you have done it, so I will say that I was able to do it because you were within me. So such a class of gratitude. We must learn from this dohas and imbibe that in our. Beautiful. Thank you very much for giving.
Dhanyavad. Very nice, Manoranjan ji. Very true. Tulsidas ji said the same, right? ना मैं करी ना करी सकूं, साहिब करता मोर, करत करावत आप हैं, tulsi tulsi shore. Tulsi was Das was saying that, so that is very true. When you start progressing spiritually, you realize it's not you who's doing. You will intuitively understand that. See, people say becoming humble is a virtue. Fine, it has become a virtue because we have come so far away from our reality. It's not a virtue, it's actually accepting who you are. It's nothing basically. It's all God and Guru's power which enables you. Just a spark of that. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Keshav ji.
Radhe Radhe Keshav.
हेलो, राधे राधे।
राधे राधे।
हाँ, आपने नितिन जी कल क्वेश्चन मेरे से किया था, तो उसका मैंने जवाब दिया, इनकम्प्लीट जवाब दिया था। आई एम सॉरी फॉर दैट।
नो
तो उसका पूरा आंसर ये था कि एज मैंने आई डिड मेंशन इन चैप्टर 7, 19 श्लोक से लेके 23 श्लोक तक इसका आंसर है वेरी क्लियरली, जो आप कोई भी चाहे तो पढ़ सकता है कि किस देवी देवता की उपासना करने से क्या प्राप्त होगा। एंड सेकेंडली, आफ्टर हैविंग डन दैट and daring to say what you wanted, I replied no. After worshipping that particular other god other than Krishna will not fulfill our goal of human life. And why? What happened today in the morning when I was doing meditation, I got another answer from Purushottam Krishna. I had one question which I'm asking, but instead of that, he gave me another answer. That is in chapter 12, shloka 12. Shreyo jnanam abhyasa jnanat dhyanam vishishyate ध्यानात् कर्म फल त्यागस त्यागस शांतिर अनंतरम। तो जब मैंने आपको वो कहा, तो जो मेरे को अभी तक प्राप्त हुआ था नॉलेज श्रीमद् भगवत गीता जी से, पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण भगवान जी की कृपा से, आई टोल्ड यू कि आप किसी भी और देवी देवता की उपासना करेंगे तो गति प्राप्त होने वाली नहीं है, परम धाम नहीं जा सकते। तो जब मैंने वो बताया तो कृष्ण भगवान ने मेरे को ये बताया कि परम धाम जाता कौन है। वर्ल्डली थिंग में से 0% कुछ भी नहीं जा सकता, ना शरीर तो जाते नहीं, वी ऑल नो। इवन के सूक्ष्म शरीर भी नहीं जाता। सच्चिदानंद alone goes back to Paramdham. That's what I got today in meditation, which I wanted to share. Jai Shri Krishna. That is my gratitude and attitude towards Purushottam Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Keshav ji. I think there's a little bit of confusion here. When you're talking about Devi Devatas, yes, Devi Devatas are called demigods. So if we worship demigods, we cannot go to Paramdham because demigods are still in material realm only. What we are talking about is the God and God's avatars here. So Ram, Krishna, Shiv, they are all Swansh. Vishnu, they are all God, they are not demigods. So we can have a discussion on that. It's very clearly laid in.
I'll give the answer right away. Avyaktam Vyaktim Apanam Mannate Mam Abuddhya Param Bhav Ajananto Mamavyam Unuttamam. इस श्लोक पे मेडिटेट कंटेम्पलेट कीजिए, then you will get the answer to your question.
Sure. Yeah, as long as we are talking, I think we're talking the same thing in different ways. So Devi Devatas, demigods are different from God itself.
No, he said कि मैं व्यक्त होता हूँ. He says not only. Anyway, we can talk separately also.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yes, Sunita ji, let's move on. Sunita ji, and then we have 2 hands, and then we can do the announcements that you wanted to make. Yes, Sunita ji, please go ahead.
Sunita ji,
Okay, Radhe Radhe.
Please go ahead.
If you allow me to sing, 1 or 2 verses of bhajans made by exalted beings, I think along with the meaning, and every day I will try to sing 1 or 2 verses if you have time, if you allow me, if possible.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
if you do
sure.
not allow me, then it's okay.
No. There's no question of.
Today I will sing.
There is no question of not allowing you. We'll move to the devotional segment. That's what we do after 10. So we will move to that segment, and you get the first priority, and we have Meenuji today. She's going to sing gratitude bhajan as well. So you both are lined up. So if you can just hold on another 5 minutes, we'll start on that segment after making the quick announcements that we need to do. If that works for you.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. No,
Meenuji, you are there
sure.
as well. We are looking forward to your bhajan as well. Yes, Meenuji is there. Yes, Sandhya, you wanted to say something?
Radhe Radhe, Sandhya ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Actually, I wanted to remind of the fundraiser announcement that you were going to do today. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let's do the Jyoti, and then I can do the fundraiser announcement as well. So yesterday I spoke about the fundraiser that is initiated. The second phase of the fundraiser. So first phase, we did raise, the 1 million match was done by Nanban, and now it's the second phase. All of us, basically, we have to pull our weights together as best as we can. So basically the target is 5 million, and it is doable, right? I was saying that if 2.5 million people, Swamiji has a following of, I don't know, millions of people, maybe double digit, right? So if we can reach out to fraction of that, and each one of them can contribute $1 or $2, 5 million will be raised. So it's an opportunity for us, like squirrels. Like when Ram Setu was being built, it was anyway going to get built. Who gets an opportunity is their privilege. So same way I look at it for all the numerous graces that we have received from him. So what I would show you is where you can go, and we have actually created a daily wisdom group. I have floated that, and we already have like 4 or 5 members. Let me share my screen to show you. What you can do is you can create your fundraiser page either directly on the site or as a team. If you want to do that, if you feel inspired, you can create your page and join our team. That way we can join hands, create some exciting stuff, create a buzz, and reach out to our friends, and then it can have a ripple effect. So let me show you, stop share and show you quickly. That way you can take down the link for that as well. I'm going to put it on the chat for everyone in meeting. You can actually check it out. Join, create your own fund. It's very intuitive and simple to actually follow that, not very difficult. Are you able to see my screen or not yet? Give me a second.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Are you able to see it now? Are you able to see it?
No, not
Please
yet. Yes.
Yeah, now we see it. Yeah.
Now we see.
So this is the link I had put in, right? So if you go in here, this is the page.
We don't see the page.
Are you able to see the page now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this is a page I've created for the team. You can say join team. You can create your page around it, and then that's it. That's all you need. And when you reach out, you can share your link with your friends. Like, for example, if I say join team here, you'll have to log in. You have to create in your login account, or you can log in with Google and create your fundraiser. It's a pretty straightforward thing. Enter your email address, put in your passcode after you have created an account, and you are all set. It's a very straightforward process. You just have to put in your name and a few more details, and then you are all set. So if you look at the members, we are already gotten so many members. Sakhi Duo is there, myself, Rahul, Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, somebody has, I think it's Sairamji, and then Vishal, 5 members already. So you can go and check it out, this link. I posted it on the chat. Join the team and let's join hands for this fundraiser. We already have like 639 raised, and I've put a target of about 10,000. It will happen. So let's move, pebbles, whatever pebbles we can move from our side. And if you think you want to create your fundraiser of your own independently, that option is there as well. So whatever inspires you or whatever makes you feel more comfortable, do that. It's all going to roll up under Swamiji's JK Yoga mission only. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Anything else, Anya? Did I miss out something?
No, I think that's it about the fundraiser. And of course, you talked about the gratitude thread, and I've also posted the links for that.
Great.
Along with the video that the Radhakrishna Temple team made as part of expressing their gratitude. So you all can feel free to check that out.
Yes. And no amount is small, $50, 100 rupees, whatever can be done. It'll all add up. It's just our effort that we can do, and rest anyway, things will move. That much I know that. So it's just an opportunity for all of us. Yes, what else then?
the cheering of the participants. Are we doing that?
Let's do that.
So we
I've
I will start sharing the screen and
Jyoti, you wanted to share that before we move?
I will share it for Jyoti, but Jyoti will can someone unmute Jyoti and she will start?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Yes, Jyoti ji.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a minute. I'll make it full screen and I'll share the sound as well.
Wow, clapping sound. Huh?
Yeah. Radhe Radhe everyone. Thank you Sandhya ji for giving me this opportunity to share this award ceremony and the participation of the week. First, so there are few categories we have made, and there are many more to come as our participants come up with some creative ideas. We'll add more. So to begin with, the first award is Best Comeback Award, which goes to Sam ji and Chetan ji. Claps for them. And being Nitin ji, our mentor, he never let his students go away. So as you can see that he is being our magnet and never let his students go. And Best Storytelling Award goes to Lakshmi ji. Claps for her. And Best Debut Participation Award goes to Varun ji for his amazing Tattva Gyan. Sandhya ji, can you... yeah, and Best Presentation Award goes to Sandhya ji herself for her Qawwali presentation and the singing which she did. That was really mesmerizing. Claps for her. And the last one is Best Debut Bhajan Singing and Chanting Award goes to Sunita ji for her amazing voice. And we would love to hear you. Please do us a favor. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thanks for all the participants for being here and having good discussion and sung.
Wonderful. And Best Announcer Award goes to Jyoti herself today. Okay, so let's give her a round of applause. Very nice, Jyoti. So thank you, and thank you everybody. We've got a wonderful team and enthusiastic participants and a lot of work that goes behind the scene. Always good to see cameras on and your smiling faces. So thank you everybody. Let's move on to our... Is there anything else, Sandhya, we wanted to announce before we can devotional segment? Okay.
Yeah.
We have,
Nitinji, if I can little bit take a moment to reiterate Swamiji's India's tour.
Sure, please do.
Yes. So upcoming dates will be in Delhi, Gurgaon, 25 to 27 November. So please do not miss out. So next tour is in Gurgaon, and after that it's in Pune, 30th November to 2nd December. And in December, the cities which are being covered is Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Banara. And
Wonderful.
we'll keep announcing as we get there, the dates.
Great. And I would strongly encourage you, once is to join the local chapter of the JK Satsang if you can find. And second is meet Swamiji in person. Make it a priority to attend his retreats and meet him in person, because once you meet him, that will catapult your spiritual journey. Okay, I can tell you that. That is the only way to fast track your spiritual journey, because he would know exactly where you are placed, in terms of your spiritual trajectory, and tell you the next nugget that you need to move further. So don't miss out on this opportunity. We are immensely fortunate to have Swamiji with us. So let's make the most of this opportunity, and wherever you can attend his retreats and get a chance to meet him in person, do not miss out on that. Okay, do make it a priority, and you would realize those benefits, as those things start growing on you. All right. Do we have any questions, or we can move to our devotional segment? I know we are over time already, so.
Yeah, I see a couple of hand raised.
Sure.
Are these for devotional section?
We could not hear Champaji yesterday.
Yes,
Champa,
we can quickly.
Sorry, yesterday you.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Champaji.
Radhe Radhe. Yesterday my internet connection, lost, so I could not speak.
No
Two things I want to say here is, I am extremely appreciating the youngsters in this group. their energy is, makes the class more and more interesting. I'm really, I don't know, I don't have words to express how good they are and the energy they're creating. That is one thing. Just now, as Nitinji spoke about the local satsangs, Bangalore has a JK Yog satsang. If you don't know, those who are staying in Bangalore can register. We have both online and offline satsangs. We celebrate the major functions and we also have it online. And now Swamiji is coming, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 4 days he'll be in Bangalore. And you can get in touch with the Sangh and then take the advantage. Thanks, Nitinji. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Thank you, Champaji, for your encouraging word always. Yes, I can tell the energy is pretty palpable, for all the younger folks who have been like, they turn on their cameras and the amount of work they do, the ideas that they come up with, I have to keep pace with them at times, but it is very, very inspiring to say the least. Amazing. And this group is a pretty huge group. I know that. I mean, we get close to 100 at times, but it seems like a small family just because of some of the things that we feel comfortable sharing with each other in these sessions. So which is pretty amazing. Yes, Rahul, you wanted to share something as well? I see a few more hands. So before we move to our devotional segment. So Sunita ji and Meenu ji, hopefully you can stick around for a few more minutes. Let's take a few hands and then we'll move to our devotional segment.
Radhe Radhe. Just wanted to add on that donation part that Nanban Foundation will be matching our contributions. So I think that will double our impact.
It will double our impact, yes. So every dollar or every rupee that you say will be matched. So that is the huge advantage that we have with this campaign. Great. Thank you for calling that out.
Thank you,
yes,
Rahulji.
You wanted to answer the question that you posed yesterday?
Radhe Radhe Ajitji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Actually, the musician you have shown was Sonu Nigam. He has done this experiment.
Sonu Nigam, okay. It's a New York guy. Maybe he did the same. He might have gotten inspired from him. So Sonu Nigam offered that. Okay.
And secondly, there is a story behind this black dot, that 99 ka fera. Naradji has put one small bag of 99 gold coins. Yeah, and he started working for the earning one more coin. So that is the story behind it.
Yeah,
and thirdly, I posed a query yesterday that how will you portray the God when you cited the example of ant, that God shows the way, where is the cashew. So that trigger me that how to portray the God, whether he is working like a supercomputer, that he is taking care of small ant which we cannot visualize or see even on walking on the floor. So my answer is that God is like a human body, or you can say a tree, one entity, a bigger consciousness, and we are all part of it, and that is how we are being taken care of it. And so we should have gratitude for the same, and we should what the topic you have started, that having the 6 parts, the surrendering to God.
Right.
So just like elephant, you have divided 6 parts. That there is a trunk, there is a wall, there is a like that pillar. But what is the total entity out of it? So that is how I try to visualize before you complete this topic of the surrenderness, that he is one entity and we are part of it. That is how we are taking care. And there is a saying in the Vedanta, the yat pinde tat brahmande. So that gives the testimony as well. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Ajitji. We'll get more deeper into this concept. We'd like to have more discussion just to understand this whole thing that you're talking about, but I'm sure it's not a 2-minute conversation right now. But thank you for your inputs. Yes, Anita ji, real quick, and then we get into our devotional segment.
Radhe Radhe Nitin ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Just I heard like that there is a local satsang going on in Bangalore. So if I can get the details, that would be
I will
great.
patch you up with Champaji, and she will be able to guide you with that. And I've already seen pictures of the local satsang in Hyderabad and in Bangalore. So it's a pretty nice satsang group. So do avail that opportunity, and you can introduce your family to that as well.
Yeah, sure, definitely. That will be a great help. Thank you.
Sure, Anita ji. Great. So let's move on now to the devotional segment. So it's a toss-up between Sunita ji and Meenu ji. Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Meenu ji.
Meenu ji?
You hope you're okay with that? Meenu ji, let's hear Meenu ji today. She's going to sing on gratitude, and I have a feeling she's going to sing Teri Meherbani Ka, probably. I don't know. Okay. Whichever one. Please go ahead.
Jai Shri Radhe.
Jai Shri Radhe.
I'm going to sing Punjabi Kirtan to show my gratitude towards Jagat Guru Kripaluji Maharaj and Swami Mukundanand ji.
Sure, sure. Please.
मेरे सतगुरु पीरां दे पीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। मेरे सतगुरु पीरां दे पीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। बारों शहंशाह अंदरों फकीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। बारों शहंशाह अंदरों फकीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। मैं मेरे विच बड़ा दुख पाया जी। मैं मेरे विच बड़ा दुख पाया जी। देखे ज्ञान अज्ञान नू मिटाया जी। देखे ज्ञान अज्ञान नू मिटाया जी। पर्दा माया दा कीता लीरों लीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। पर्दा माया दा कीता लीरों लीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। मेरे सतगुरु पीरां दे पीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। बड़े भागा नाल सतगुरु पाया जी। बड़े भागा नाल सतगुरु पाया जी। तन मन धन सेवा विच लाया जी। तन मन धन सेवा विच लाया जी। बन जाए बिगड़ी तकदीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। बन जाए बिगड़ी तकदीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। पत्थर दिलां विच प्रेम जगाया जी। पत्थर दिलां विच प्रेम जगाया जी। राधे नाम रस सबनू पिलाया जी। राधे नाम रस सबनू पिलाया जी। बहे अखां विचों प्रेम दा नीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी। मेरे सतगुरु पीरां दे पीर जिन्हां ने प्रेम रस दिया जी।
Very nice, Meenu ji.
Thank you.
I am so glad you honored us by singing satsang on our session, which is pretty amazing. Was it Vinod ji who was playing this?
No, I was playing.
Oh, you were playing it as well.
Wow.
Very nice. By the way, this is our Meenu ji. If you don't know her, you need to follow her on Facebook. Okay? And you will see some of the most beautiful posts that that she will keep on sharing throughout the day, inspiring posts of Maharaj Ji, Swami Ji, and she is one of those inspiring devotees that you need to be in touch with, and it will rub off on you. Both Vinod Ji and Meenu Ji, they are so inspiring. I mean, just follow them on Facebook, say Radhe Radhe to them, okay, every day, and it will transform and change your life. I can tell you that.
And today I posted on gratitude. There is a post on gratitude. So I would like everybody to see that and post their comments. That'll be nice.
Yes. And half of the Bay Area is a devotee just because of Meenu Ji, I'm telling you. Whoever comes.
No, stop joking now.
No, I'm not joking. I'm telling you that. And she's the reason I could pull off an act of our dear Swamiji here in one of our retreats, okay? Because she was generous enough to lend her sari to me, okay?
We have to show this one of these
Sure.
things.
I will bring it in one of the sessions, the act that we did. But thank you, Meenu Ji. And
Really,
Vinod Ji, you both are so sweet.
No.
And
I really appreciate you are running the session very, very well, and I admire all the youth, how they are supporting you, and everybody. It's excellent session. Thank you.
Thank you, Meenu Ji. It's an honor. It's our honor completely, and we would love to hear you more. Thank you so much for that.
So Nitin Ji, Vinod
Yes.
can only listen to music and enjoy. He doesn't play anything.
For some reason, I was thinking it is Vinod Ji who's playing it. So very nice. Thank you, Meenu Ji, and thank you, Vinod Ji, for coming on. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you,
Okay.
Meenu Ji. Thank you, Meenu Ji, for such a beautiful kirtan. Thank you so much.
Very nice. All right. With that, we move on to Sunita Ji now. Sunita Ji, all yours. The floor is all yours now.
Sunita Ji.
Okay, you are not muted. Unmuted. Sorry.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
First of all, I just want to say that it is your highness that you have given me award also. I have never sung for any award. Just purpose is to increase your devotion. So if that happens, then the purpose is served. So thank you so much for giving me still you have chosen me for this award. And so today I just want to sing. It is called Kevalyastakam. It is written by Nilkanta Goswami and it is found in Pancha Ratnam. And first, I just want to tell you the meaning, and after that, I want to sing. Okay. Goes like this. It goes like this. Madhuram madhure bhyopi, mangale bhyopi mangalam, pavanam pavane bhyopi, harir nama kevalam. Sweeter than all other sweet things in the world, more auspicious than all other auspicious things in the world, and the more purifying than all other purifying things in the world, that is the holy name of Hari, Lord Shri Krishna, and nothing else. Abrahmastamba parayantam sarvam maya mayam jagat satyam 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 punah satyam harer namaiva kevalam. The entire universe, right from the highest being Brahma to the lowest clump of grass, is the product of illusory energy, and it is full of misery. And the thing that is true, really true, again I say, the only truth, that is the holy name of Hari. Sa guru sa pita chapi, sa mata bandhavo picha, sikchayache stada smartum, harer namaiva kevalam. That person is to be regarded as true preceptor, true father, true mother, or true friend who teaches us only to remember the holy name of Lord Hari. Niswase nahi viswasa kada ruddho bhavishyati kirtaniya mato balyad harer namaiva kevalam. There is no certainty of breath when it is going to stop in future, and therefore it is wise and important to practice chanting only the holy name of Hari right from the very childhood. So let me sing now. So am I clearly audible?
Very much, very much.
Yes.
Please go ahead. Your audio. Audio, we lost your audio.
Now? Or
Yes,
somebody muted me?
now we can.
Now we can hear you.
Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam pavanam pavanebhyopi hareernamaiva kevalam hare नामैव केवलम् आब्रह्मसम्मपर्यन्तं सर्वं मायामयं जगत् सत्यं सत्यं पुनर्सत्यं हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरे नामैव केवलम् सगुरु पिता चापि सामाता बान्धवोऽपि सा शिक्षय चेस्तदा स्मर्तुं हरेर्नामैव केवलम् निःश्वासेन हि विश्वासा कदा ऋतो भविष्यति कीर्तनीया मतो बाल्यात् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरि सदा वसेत् तत्र यत्र भागवता जना गायन्ति भक्तिभावेन हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् मधुरं मधुरेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलेभ्योऽपि मङ्गलम् पावनं पावनेभ्योऽपि हरेर्नामैव केवलम् हरेर्नामैव केवलम् Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Radhe Radhe.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Very nice, Sunita ji. You know, the devotion and the bhavs, they transcend the language also. You just have to close your eyes and you just feel that way. And thank you so much for narrating the meaning first. That really helped. And you sing beautifully with a lot of bhav, which takes us to a different world altogether. So thank you so much for that. Heartfelt thank you.
Thank
For
you.
this beautiful rendition that you did, Sunita ji. Very nice.
Thank you, Sunita ji, for sharing the meaning of the bhajan. It really helps. And you sang beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes. And it is a pleasure to have you on these sessions regularly. Now I'm glad you're able to make it, and really good.
Sure.
Wonderful. So anybody else? We come to the end of today's session. I know we ran a little bit over today, but it was a pretty engaging session, like we always had. And the icing on the cake were two beautiful bhajans. You know, first by MKG, which is My Krishna, Meenu Kapoor ji, and then Sunita ji, like she always does. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue, cover the remaining aspects of the surrender, and have some more deeper engaging conversations around this topic. So thank you, everybody. Radhe Radhe, great evening. Wish you a great evening and great rest of your day.
Thank you, Nitin ji, for another awesome session. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your enthusiastic participation. Radhe Radhe, stay blessed. See you all tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.